Hey guys, welcome back. So we're at Ross Jeffries, that guy. All right, we're doing speed seduction, following up on the QA session. Okay, today's Q&A is for a fella named Brent. His question to Ross is how to act in social settings. So let's get into this. He says, once again, it's Ross Jeffries, your master, expert, teacher, coach, guide, mentor, and seduction guru. Ooh! All right. He gets all excited with his names. Brent wants to know about how to work social settings. How do you warm up a room so that you're not seen as a predator, he says. How do you act in a social setting when you first meet women so that their interest is kept in just you? He also quotes a study that says women know within 2 minutes whether they're going to sleep with you or not. He wants to know if that's true or it's just pop culture idea. All right. First of all, this is going to be a very, very important section. All right, guys. A lot of you, I'm going to assume, don't really know what to do in social settings, or you probably wouldn't be listening to me here. So I'm going to have a lot to unpack with all of this. Second, the idea that a woman knows that she's going to sleep with you in 2 minutes is very surface, okay? Just like we know within 2 minutes if we want to sleep with a girl. In fact, I'd say it's 2 seconds for us guys. All right, we don't need fucking 2 minutes. But to me, the art of all of this and what we're trying to go over has nothing to do with the 2 minute thing. The 2 minute thing, like we said, is the surface. If you guys had it on the surface, you don't need this. You don't need to listen to me. All right. But I want to say that we're here to circumvent that 2 minute thing. All right. What can we do after 2 minutes to sway her toward us? All right. That to me is what all this is about. So let's go over this. Let's review and define our terms, he says. What do we mean in the context by social setting? In the context that Brent presents his question, we mean a bar, a club, or something similar. Meet market environment, he says. He's referring to an earlier module in which I said that if you have to open the entire room in order to get in with one person. When you're working a club or a bar, you spend the first hour being friendly with everyone. You set aside picking up women in any way for the first half hour to hour and a half. Take on the mindset that the world is your set. All right, guys, that is very important. That is patience, and that is looking accepted, and that is looking popular. That is looking like you know everyone in that room. All right, very important to do. If you don't know how to do it, then you need to start there to figure that out, okay? And throw me questions if you need help with that. Whenever pop culture or pop psychology tells me something or I hear something on Oprah, I almost always assume that it is totally wrong or a gross misstatement of the actual scientific study, he says. In my mind, pop psychology and pop culture and stupidity and dumbass brainwashing. Does a woman know within 2 minutes if she's going to bang you? How does a woman know what she feels anything for a guy? We as speed seducers, he says, want to look deep into the process level of how women move through the emotional world. When a woman says, I feel attracted to him, how does she know that? I don't mean her reasons like he's good looking, I like the way he touches me. I'm talking about the how. If the woman says, I'm not attracted to you, how does she know that? This is looking for process, not content, he says. Okay? He's about to give us a gold key understanding. Can't wait. Here's his gold key understanding. Speed seduction is first and foremost not about what you say or how you act. All right? I may already disagree with him. I'm not saying that those things don't matter because they do. However, it's first and foremost about a different way of looking at women and understanding how women create their internal, subjective, emotional states. What are the processes that drive and create those states, he says? What are the internal building blocks of the emotional states that drive the behaviors that we want from them? You must have their understanding, for the rest of speed seduction becomes mumbo jumbo. Always look for the process, not the reasons, okay? It is about what you say, all right? I will disagree with Ross here, all right? You need to know how to act and what to say, okay? When you really feel deep attraction, he says, what's the first signal or first flow of feeling you get inside that lets you know that you really want this person? Feel a deep attraction, okay? That I've had several times in my life. The girl that I'm probably going to get married to here very soon, I got lucky because most all of what I'm going over now went out the window, except for our first couple of dates. All right. After that, none of this was needed. We took it from there. All right. So I hope y'all all could be so lucky. But he says, I want to ask a better question. Don't ask. How should I act to get women to notice me? Or how should I act in a social setting? Instead of asking, what do I train myself to notice? Having said all of that, and having reminded you again of the bedrock foundation of fundamental questions we ask as speed seducers and what we pay attention to as speed seducers, here's his answers. It's almost certain that some women will feel a subjective flow of feeling that they label as attraction or connection, or when they even know, I'm going to sleep with this guy. Some women will feel that flow of feeling within minutes or even seconds of meeting a guy. I don't doubt that. Whether they label it attraction, intrigue, or I know I want him, I don't know. But I'm sure that some, if not many women, feel that. I'm going to pause on here because I want to say something to y'all. Most of the women that said they wanted to have sex with me within the first couple of minutes of meeting me turned out to be the biggest whores I ever met. All right. Most of them, I said. Now, there's some outliers in every experiment. But most of them, if they knew within a couple of minutes that they wanted to fuck you, they're whores. All right. There's no other way to say it. What I'm telling you is, fuck all this. Find the girls that don't feel that in the first couple minutes because they're not whores and change their minds. That's more powerful. Not only is it more powerful, you get a better quality of person inside and outside the bedroom. Okay? Keep that in mind. Now, you can't go around asking people, hey, did you want to fuck me in 2 minutes? No, you can't do that. But you'll know the types through some practice of whether these people are whores or not. All right? And maybe you want whores. I don't know. I'm not going to judge. There was a time in my life I wanted that. All right, moving on. But that does not equate, he says, to her sleeping with a guy or even doing anything with him. If that were the case, then anytime a woman felt any attraction for a guy, she'd wind up fucking him. And we know that's not true. If no other reason but this, then the guy blows it. Women just don't feel enough attraction or something gets in the way. The fact that she's feeling some kind of desire, interest, or attention doesn't mean that she's absolutely going to sleep with a guy. The next point is a little bit tricky, he says. Women will not sleep with a guy unless they do feel something like the flow of feelings. Just because she does feel that flow of feelings isn't sufficient to get her to sleep with you. However, feeling that flow of feelings does have to be there for the fucking to happen. All right? But it being there isn't sufficient by itself for the fucking to happen. So basically what he said there, without getting tongue twisted, you've got to have a feeling of attraction in order to, have a girl fuck you. But that can't be the only thing. All right. Probably when they do fuck with a guy, they look back and it can conclude that they didn't, because they did feel that flow of feelings for the guy. It meant that they knew they were going to fuck him. It's a little bit convoluted, he says, but it is a convoluted process that women go through. Yes, they do. Women's brain, they're a blender sometimes. Don't make sense. Here's the most important point. Here's the most important point. Don't fucking worry about it with speed seduction. You can easily create the flows of feeling, the internal processes and imagery, and all the things that allow a woman to convince herself that she must fuck you. Damn, Ross. All right. He said, if I had a nickel for every woman who told me just prior to her sleeping with me that she wasn't attracted to me, I'd be rich. Come to think of it, I am rich. Now look at this. You see what he said right here? He said if he had a nickel for every time a girl told this ugly motherfucker that she wasn't attracted to him, he'd be rich. I believe him. All right. So, occasionally if I hear, I just want you to know that nothing is going to happen, I'll say that. And I'll always get laid when I do. I've said if I've had a nickel for every woman who said something almost identical to that, just minutes or hours before she fucked my brains out, I'd be rich. Come to think of it again, he says, I am rich. Wow, Ross. We as men tend to take the states of being attracted to a woman, aroused, filled with desire, and it's on right now, and clump them into one big ball of lust. When we see a super hot looking girl, we don't need to go through a chain of, I'm interested, I'm attracted, I feel desire, I feel arousal. Now I'm ready. Either we clump them all simultaneously into one thing, or they happen so quickly in sequence for all the intents and purposes, they might as well happen all simultaneously. He says women are different. Just because a woman is feeling interested, it doesn't mean she's feeling attracted. Just because she's feeling attracted, it doesn't necessarily mean she's feeling desire. Just because she's feeling desire, he says, it doesn't necessarily mean she's feeling arousal. Just because she's feeling arousal, it doesn't necessarily mean she's feeling it's on right now. Damn, Ross, damn. Often, he says, women will not only bounce back and forth between these states, but they will also insert a state of doubt or hesitation in between them things. Yes, they do. You will have a woman that is ready, dripping, and able to fuck your brains out, okay? You will have this happen. And then somewhere, bang, like a light switch, she's staring off at a bird in a tree. She ain't paying no damn attention to you. She don't even know what she's doing. Like, it just went away for a minute. And your job is to get her back to where she was at feeling all that stuff. You never know. Women are flighty like that with their brain and the way they think sometimes. They're God's little perfect creatures. But sometimes they just get off track of their emotions. All right. It says women tend to be able to compartmentalize not just the different levels of their consciousness, but also their emotions, which they do. They do. Women do it all the time, especially if they're in a bad abusive relationship. They'll compartmentalize the hell out of what they're feeling just to try to be in a good headspace to deal with this crazy motherfucker they're with. All right. That translates to being able to compartmentalize children, family, friends, everything. They do it a lot better than we can, guys. Part of being a master and understanding and handling women, he says, not just in terms of the seduction, but is also throughout the relationship, is understanding that fundamental difference in how men and women organize their emotions, at least around this idea of sex and fucking. All right, so that was the question, all right, that he had for Brent. Now, let's talk just a little bit to finish this video up about that. Trying to get inside a head of a woman is a nightmare. So I'm not going to recommend I'm not going to recommend that you listen to all of this, okay? If you're going to spend your time trying to get in the head of a woman, you're going to lose. You're going to waste your time, your money, everything else. It's okay to think, hey, what is she thinking? That's all right. But just don't put all your eggs in that basket. There's other baskets you got to do. When you meet a woman, think of it like this. Why is she here? Okay. What does she want now that she's here? And what do I want now that she's here? And how did those two things mix? And do they mix? Throughout the course of your date or your social setting or whatever the hell it is, are both parties happy that both parties are present? Okay. Through alcohol, that's going to be hard for you to understand and see and tell and calibrate and all those things. So if you can do it in a setting without alcohol, all of this becomes a lot easier. All right. Alcohol is not the confidence that you guys think it is. Okay. In fact, it's the opposite. But this is very good. Now, the next video, we're going to go over self-conscious about approaching women. This will be an answer to Julio. And we're going to go over what it's like to approach women and how Julio can quit being self-conscious about doing it. And I was the same way as Julio back in the day. I'm sure you guys have struggled with that as well. We'll cover that in the next video. Again, love you guys. Like, subscribe, whatever all the shit is. Send me comments, questions. And I'm happy to be with you guys. I mean, we're flying through this book with Ross Jeffries. So you got anything else for me, let me know. Reach out. And again, it's good to see you guys, and we'll talk later. Bye.